In summer, the weather can change in an instant. That means you need to prepare now for potentially life-threatening weather.
All of a sudden, there's like a big rush of water.
Tonight, we show you the science behind the forecasts and the tools we use to keep you safe. Plus, the pests that can make summer miserable and why experts say ticks are especially bad.
We have already seen an increased number of tick bites.
And the Susquehanna Valley still in a drought. Why the biggest impacts may be the ones you don't see.
Welcome to the News 8 Storm Team Summer Weather Outlook. I'm Chief Meteorologist Christine Ferreira, and we're getting you ready for the summer season ahead. We're showing you the tools only WGAL has to see severe weather coming. We're also looking at the impact of drought conditions and how you can stay safe from summertime pests. But first, we begin with one of summer's biggest dangers, flash flooding. You may remember this storm that hit Lancaster County last July. Storm Team meteorologist Mike Susko shows us the danger and the technology we use to warn you before rain hits.
Rain supports our region's economy and allows south central Pennsylvania to flourish. But when there's too much,
we have a serious situation unfolding right now in central and northern portions of Lancaster County.
Disaster can strike. On the night of June 30th, 2025, that's exactly what happened.
We saw multiple rounds of showers move across Lancaster County, and with each batch of rain, things just continued to ramp up.
But the rain just kept coming.
We saw more waves of rain coming in, and we upgraded to a flash flood emergency. Those are pretty rare, but with water rescues ongoing, it seemed like the appropriate action to take.
But what does a flash flood emergency actually mean?
The flash flood emergency is something we reserve for only the most extreme cases, and this one certainly was that way, with upwards of 6 or 7 inches in Lancaster County in a very short period of time.
And all that water has to go somewhere.
All of a sudden, there's like a big rush of water came. I don't know where it came from, but it just hit me.
This has been the worst that we've had in the past 10 years or so.
Flash flooding can occur in all different shapes and sizes here in the Susquehanna Valley. Luckily, we tend to get more of those nuisance events where it might cover parts of the street or even parts of your yard. It's not often where we see that water actually get into the home. So nuisance flash flooding, again, may just come up to maybe the base of the house or parts of the yard. It really doesn't get into the home. But when those floodwaters rise and start getting into the house, and maybe in some cases even needing water rescues, that's where we're getting into more significant cases like June 30th and July 1st of last year. Now, the National Weather Service has developed a 4-tier system for their warnings. There's 4 warning types you can get now. Here, a couple of years ago, they implemented this. The first one is the radar indicated tag. So this would be your base flash flood warning or your level 1. It means radar data and rain gauge data showing, hey, heavy rain has fallen in this area, but flash flooding may not be occurring just yet, but it could at any moment. When storm spotters, law enforcement, or even members of the public like yourself notice flash flooding and report it to the National Weather Service, that's when you get the observe tag, and that's why reporting it is so important. It elevates it to the next level. As we go into the considerable tag, now we're talking rare circumstances. This does a couple things. One, it triggers the wireless emergency alerts on your phone. The first 2 do not, and that is to help cut down on the noise of flash flood warnings. In the past, you got them for every single one. This is now going to be reserved for the more extreme cases. And when we end up getting to the flash flood emergency, that's near record or historic levels of flash flooding for an area. They're exceedingly rare, but unfortunately, this is the type of warning we end up seeing back in June 30th and also on July 1st of last year in parts of Lancaster County. So these are very rare to get, but unfortunately, they can happen. And last year's flash flooding wasn't the first time we saw high water in Lancaster County. In 2018, the same area was hit with flash floods. So, is it bad luck? Or is northern Lancaster County prone to this kind of activity?
It's a number of different causes. One of them is the east side of the Appalachians, also close proximity to the Atlantic Ocean and to the Chesapeake Bay, especially for Lancaster County. So that's an ample low-level moisture source.
The heavy rain didn't stop on June 30th and July 1st. Just 2 weeks later, Mount Joy experienced more flooding last summer. For more on this story, go to our website, WGAL.com.
As summer storms return, they can bring more than just rain and lightning. For many, they also bring anxiety. Storm Team meteorologist Ryan Argenti takes a look at how storms impact kids, adults, even pets, and what you can do to stay calm and prepared.
What sound does a thunderstorm make? Can you guys show me? When storms roll in, they don't just bring thunder and lightning, they can also bring fear.
Like anxious or nervous. If it's like a big one, a major one, then I would be scared.
For kids, that fear can come from the simplest things.
The scariest part about a thunderstorm is the noise. When
The lightning and thunder are like no seconds apart.
Sometimes it's the uncertainty of what to do. But even when they know the plan, the feeling doesn't always go away.
Hug something. I go under the covers with my cat because like my cat makes me feel calm a lot. I hug my stuffed animal.
And that anxiety doesn't just stop with kids.
I become a little bit more nervous about what may have happened as far as property damage or safety.
And how adults react can shape how others feel.
It does tend to spark a bit of anxiety within me, but as being an educator, I try to mask that for the better good of my students and making sure that they stay calm.
So if one were to experience anxiety, how do you manage it?
Calming yourself during those events is really important. Some people find some grounding exercises.
She says when it comes to kids, your response matters.
Kids are going to take their cues from us as parents too. Just giving them the okay that it's okay to be scared and that you're safe at the same time.
And it's not just people feeling the stress. Pets can experience storms even more intensely.
They hear lower frequencies, they feel pressure changes, and they can even sense static electricity before a storm hits.
But just like us, they can be calmed.
You can keep the lights on, you can close curtains and blinds. That will block out the lightning. Stay calm and just reassure your dog it's okay to pet them during a storm, to hold them, to sit with them.
Storms are a part of life here in the Susquehanna Valley, but with a little preparation, understanding, and a little reassurance, it's something that we can all weather together.
When a storm is moving in, the News 8 Storm Team has the latest tools to see what's coming. Storm Team meteorologist Ethan Houston explains how radar works and how we know when to expect thunderstorms or even tornadoes.
A typical scan of weather radar starts by sending out radio waves. Then the radar listens for any energy that returns after bouncing off anything in the atmosphere.
Based on the power returned and the amount of time it takes for that pulse to go out and then come back, allows the radar to determine what is out there, where it is, and how fast it's moving.
These radio pulses can figure out if a storm may be producing heavy rain, strong winds, hail, or tornadoes. Doppler radar is named after the Doppler effect. The effect is a frequency change that occurs when something moves towards an object or moves away from that object. You likely have experienced this effect before through sound. Here is an example with Storm Tracker 8. Notice the pitch of the horn goes higher when the vehicle approaches. Then the pitch turns lower the moment Storm Tracker 8 moves past. John Bangoff of the National Weather Service says using the Doppler effect, radar can reveal the motion within storms. This is how meteorologists see rotation in storms, detecting potential tornadoes. Radar measures wind speed by detecting how precipitation is blowing in the wind. When looking for rotation within storms, shades of red and green are used. Green means objects are moving towards the radar. Red means objects are moving away from radar. The brighter the shades of red and green and the closer the colors are together, then the stronger the winds are likely within a storm, and there's a higher chance of a tornado. The problem with radar is the radar's beam of energy travels in a straight line, but the Earth is curved. The closest National Weather Service radar sites hits the base of thunderstorms over Lancaster County at roughly 8,000 to 9,000 feet off the ground. Live Local 8 radar hits the base of thunderstorms over Lancaster County just a few hundred feet off the ground. This allows the News 8 Storm Team to see more details in nearby thunderstorms that more distant radars may see less clearly or may miss entirely. In 2021, the National Weather Service began issuing categories or tags to severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings.
That just gives us a little bit extra power to be able to communicate when we have a higher end threat. And so say 80-mile-per-hour winds or golf ball sized hail, if we want to convey this is a severe thunderstorm, but it's got more significant hazards than a normal severe thunderstorm.
Here at WGAL, we show these different tags by changing the color of the warning polygons or boxes over the radar. For example, this baseline severe thunderstorm, the warning box is orange. This thunderstorm has a destructive tag attached to it because meteorologists saw features on the radar that indicate a higher chance for damaging winds and large hail, so the warning box turns pink. Here is a list and color code of severe thunderstorm warning tags. If a severe thunderstorm receives a destructive tag, a wireless emergency alert will be sent to all cell phones within the warned area. Tornado warnings have tags too. Most tornado warnings are radar indicated, and our radar shows a red warning box. This means the rotation with the storm is strong enough to produce a tornado, but it hasn't been confirmed if one is occurring. If a tornado is confirmed, it receives an observed tag, and the warning box changes to dark purple. If the tornado appears to be strong or violent in nature, the warning can be upgraded to considerable. In very rare, life-threatening situations, a tornado emergency can be declared where damage is expected to be catastrophic. Alerts are sent to all cell phones for all tornado warnings.
Still to come, despite how green it may look outside, we're still in a drought in the Susquehanna Valley. I'll talk about how much rain it will take to get rid of the deficit. Plus, how bad will the bugs be this summer? Storm Team meteorologist Mary Ellen Pan is going to the experts to find out how many mosquitoes, ticks, and spotted lanternflies you'll see this summer. It's springtime. The grass is green, the flowers are blooming, and it's rained recently. But would you believe if I told you most of the Susquehanna Valley is still in a drought?
There are two types of drought. Short-term drought lasts a few months and affects the surface. It's measured by lack of rainfall, dry topsoil, and lack of water for agriculture. Long-term drought goes deeper, impacting groundwater and aquifers. It also lasts more than 6 months. And that's where we are right now. By the end of last year, we were more than 4.5 inches below average. This year, we're nearly 3 inches behind. To see the real impact, you have to look underground and at the population growth in the Susquehanna Valley.
So I just want you to imagine that this is the aquifer. Okay?
J.T. Hand of the York Water Company says over time, more wells symbolized by these straws have been drilled to access water in the aquifer.
The more straws you have, the more pressure you're going to have on those groundwater resources.
When groundwater drops, recovery can take months, even years.
So the well that was sunk 100 years ago that only had to be sunk 30 feet now has to be sunk 200 feet to get deep enough into the groundwater reserve.
This time last year, parts of the Susquehanna Valley were in a severe drought. Then we had the wettest May on record when 10 inches of rain fell in Harrisburg. This wiped out the drought, but the lack of rain later in the year caused drought conditions to return.
I feel that rain is one of the most precious commodities for everybody.
In Lancaster County, farmer Jason Charles is adapting with drip irrigation.
Our water comes into these black pipes. There is a drip line that is buried underneath this row of plastic that is going right to these two plants, or actually the whole row. It's putting it right here.
This helps conserve water compared to traditional sprinkler irrigation.
If I would open that up, you can see how the difference between the two soils.
The drought monitor as of May 7th shows severe drought in parts of Lebanon, Lancaster, York, and Franklin counties, while other areas are in a moderate drought. To wipe out the drought by the end of this month, we need our average precipitation for May combined with the deficit, and that equals more than 11 inches of rain. So even though things look green, the drought is still here, and it's likely to stick around into summer.
The Drought Monitor is updated every Thursday. We'll keep tracking it all summer long right here on WGAL. Still to come, we'll let you know if it's going to be a bad year for pests like mosquitoes and ticks. Plus, we're looking at the weather headed our way over the next few months. I'll have the summer weather outlook. It's a question the Storm Team has been asked a lot. How bad will the bugs be this summer? Storm Team meteorologist Mary Ellen Pan went to the experts to find out.
While it was colder than average this past winter, it likely was not cold enough to have much of an impact on our most unwelcome warm weather visitors. They may be small, but the impact is big. Ticks, mosquitoes, and spotted lanternflies are here for the season.
Starting with ticks, they are well insulated throughout the season under layers of leaves and occasional snow. Even when temperatures dip, the ground rarely stays cold long enough to significantly reduce their numbers. Cold snaps just slow them down.
We have already seen this spring an increasing number of ticks being out and about and an increasing number of tick bites. The Pennsylvania Department of Health in particular has reported increasing numbers of emergency room visits due to tick bites.
Experts say to look for repellents with active ingredients like DEET, picardian oils, lemon, and eucalyptus. And be sure to wear long pants and sleeves when going in the woods. Mosquitoes tell a similar story. They are surprisingly resilient and can make it through cold winters even when temperatures drop below freezing. But there are simple things you can do to reduce the number of mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes love artificial containers. So even things that you don't think of, leaving your kids' toys outside, maybe that play table, you leave it outside for a little too long, it collects water, the mosquitoes will utilize that habitat. Any buckets, tires, a wheelbarrow that you're using outside.
Experts say those environments are the favorites for mosquitoes who transmit West Nile virus and Jamestown Canyon, another type of virus that can cause flu-like symptoms.
Best thing you can do is definitely use your repellent. The bug zappers aren't really the way to go. They actually kill more beneficial insects than they do mosquitoes. A little box fan that you put on the ground to blow some air around will help deter mosquitoes and other insects. Mosquitoes are not strong flyers at all.
Then there is the spotted lanternfly. They certainly are tough. While extreme cold can kill some eggs, this past winter's fluctuation in temperatures likely allowed many to survive, which sets the stage for another active season as they hatch and spread.
They don't hurt people, they don't hurt pets, they don't hurt the environment really, but it's economic damage to valuable crops like grapes especially, nursery plants, which are huge in Pennsylvania. Outdoor entertainment, they're a major nuisance if you want to enjoy the outdoors. With concerts, with gatherings like Pennsylvania's, this is America's 250th celebration. There's a lot of people who their economic vitality depends on all those visitors coming in and having a good time.
So as the heat and humidity build, so could the buzz, the bite, and the battle in your own backyard.
Next, I'll share my summer weather outlook and we'll talk about the developing El Nino. It's time for our summer weather outlook. First, I'd like to start by taking a look at the El Nino Southern Oscillation and the probabilities of El Nino or La Nina. Right now we are in an ENSO neutral pattern indicated by these gray bars, but look at El Nino in the red emerging as the summer goes on and possibly becoming strong. It's that super El Nino you've been hearing about as we approach winter. So what is El Nino? It's marked by above average ocean temperatures off the coast of South America, and the water temperature there could be around a half a degree to a degree above average. When it gets 2 degrees above average, that's the super El Nino. It leads to a strong Pacific jet stream, which could bring rain to much needed areas in the southeast, and a strong northern jet stream. Look at how far it's arched up into Canada there. That is going to allow warm air to build this summer, especially in the Pacific Northwest, the Rockies, and the Plains. A spell of dry weather across the Midwest. And for us in the Susquehanna Valley, El Nino emerging summers tend to lead to average conditions around here. Let's talk about the tropics and El Nino. In the Pacific, we will have lower wind shear, which will allow more hurricane development. It's likely that we see more hurricanes in the Pacific Basin, but in the Atlantic Basin, it's the opposite. We'll have stronger wind shear, stronger trade winds. These winds tend to disrupt hurricane formation or don't allow hurricanes to become as strong. So I think in the Susquehanna Valley, we will see a lower impact from tropical systems this year. Now to wildfires. You can see the drought monitor here across the United States with 2 areas of extreme or exceptional drought. One over the southeast, the other in the Rocky Mountain West, where they've had historic low snowpack this winter and spring. So if you look at the fire potential outlook for June, for July, even for August, you see those 2 hotspots, one right over the Rocky Mountain West expanding into the Pacific Northwest and the other over the southeast. If the jet stream lines up correctly, we could see wildfire smoke transported here in the Susquehanna Valley. Now we go to drought, and we talked about this earlier in the newscast. You can see that drought will persist across much of the west. It could improve slightly across the southeast thanks to that active southern jet stream. But in the Susquehanna Valley, at least through the end of July, drought is forecast to persist. Let's take a look at our summer forecast. Overall, I do forecast temperatures to be near average. Average is 75 degrees. Rainfall near to slightly below average. Our average rainfall officially in Harrisburg over June, July, and August is about 12.5 inches. So what can you expect? I see stretches of heat with some 90-degree days, but also cooler stretches, and those two could balance each other out. It could also be wetter toward the end of summer in August. For our summer 2026 impacts, expect energy usage similar to what we saw last year. 90-degree days, we had 23 last year. I think we'll see fewer, maybe 18 to 22 this year. Tropical influence, similar because we didn't have much influence from the tropics last year. And wildfire smoke, the chance of seeing hazy or smoky skies in the Susquehanna Valley, a higher chance this summer. Now is a good time to download the WGAL News 8 app so you have the storm team with you wherever you go. Make sure to turn on alerts so you're the first to know when severe weather is headed your way. Thanks so much for joining us for our summer weather outlook. Have a safe and enjoyable summer ahead.